My name is Jody, and I just retired from my super important yet super boring corporate job where I explain complex things to the C-suite executives in 5 minutes or less to get them to actually make decisions and do something. I will now take these corporate superpowers and do deep dives into current events and help to answer the obvious questions. And this is my podcast. Some days you just have to zig when you think you're going to zag, and this is a special episode because those wacky kids from Montecito are the gift that keeps on giving. With great fanfare about 3 months ago, the world rejoiced that Prince Harry had hired a chief of staff to assist him to, and I'm doing little air quotes, move to the next phase. So the obvious question is, why would anyone want to work with this man? Now, let's start with what is a chief of staff. A chief of staff is kind of like a coach and a quarterback of an organization. I have played this role a few times, and it means you have to know the plan, the people around the organization, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what we like to call the North Star, where we are going and what's the plan to get there. No two people in the world need more guidance than Harry and Meghan. The problem is that the North Star seems to change daily. Harry wants to move back to part-time to the UK. Now Harry won't go back to the UK. Harry is suing the press. Meghan wishes that Harry would move forward and stop going after the press. I mean, all you have to do is every day it's something different. The issue is that this most entitled Nepo baby ever to step foot on the planet is only good at one thing: being a spoiled and entitled Nepo baby, guided by minions from the royal family to do tasks like wave and cut ribbons and take selfies. And the last time I looked, these are not skills that will even qualify him to be a Walmart greeter. Although I do remember when Burger King offered for him to stand and wave in a crown. Maybe that one's available for him. So along comes the latest victim, employee, Josh Kettler. Now this guy has a decent resume working as chief of staff at multiple companies and also lived in Santa Barbara, which is also a good thing because like most of Harry's employees, they don't stay long enough to even find housing. And you would hate to even file like a 1-year lease. I mean, my Lord. He was with Harry at the 10th anniversary for the Invictus Games. And I hated royal life so much that I'm doing a fake royal tour because that's all I know that happened in Nigeria. And just days before the security-conscious ex-royal flies to that bastion of safety, Colombia, he said, "No mas." That's my Espanol for everybody. Woohoo. At first, the news was old Josh quit. But then the favored mouthpieces of Montecito non-royals who hate the royals but act like them and hate the press but leak to them all the time told us he was hired on a trial basis. Now, I don't know everything, but I know this. Nobody takes a temp job as chief of staff. They call those interim. They don't send out press releases for interim chief of staff. The problem is they can't keep employees at all. In a normal corporation, the highest attrition rate is for customer service rep type jobs, and they average about 20 to 25% annualized attrition. And at that point, they would love to be at that level. Per the Daily Mail, they have lost over 18 employees that everybody knows of. That's really bad. So here's the thing, losing an employee isn't tough, especially in a small startup company. And at this point, they're like the Groundhog's Day version of a startup that constantly, well, remember that North Star? Well, the problem is at this point, the North Star seems to be pointing east, west, south, northeast, southeast. Well, you get it. Anyway, this is a guy that was supposed to help Harry become, employable. Of course, he has all those Nepo baby fake jobs, but he needs to figure out how to make cash. Invictus and waving do not pay. They've tried speeches, and that dried up. He wrote a book that's still being mocked years later. He has no skills. And in 3 months, Josh got tired of trying to get Harry to do, something. Now, I have sympathy for Josh because this man-child is not the sharpest knife in the drawer that he's working for. He's not even a butter knife. In fact, in his book, the one where he put his mommy's favorite cream on his wee willy winky, he said he went to Eden, which was found by a great, I don't even remember, the grandfathers. Your dimness. You realize there was a thing called the War of the Roses, and part of that included the elimination of the direct line from Henry VI. Oh yeah, I am totally into War of the Roses history, by the way. I mean, to most Americans, you would be like, I don't understand that, Jody. But think of it this way. That would be like saying Abraham Lincoln was George Washington's son. It was just stupid. Okay, back to today. Chief of staffs have to understand the plan and keep all the wheels in motion. The problem is with Harry is there are no wheels on Harry's bus, and they don't go round and round. They just go every different direction. He has no plan, no initiative, anything. And the man quickly learned what the rest of the Boulevard of Broken Dreams that runs right into their Montecito mansion knew. You cannot give advice to someone with absolutely no plan other than to hate the British tabloids. The British tabloids, the same people making money and making fun of this 18th member of their staff to leave. These people leave faster than a customer in a Chick-fil-A line at 8 a.m. It takes a year minimum to get into the swing of any job, especially one this high profile. You need to be comfortable with your boss and understand what the plan is. Now, I don't have a magic 8-ball or a crystal ball, but I'm going to guess the latest look at us pretending to be royal non-royals and their newest jaunt to Colombia probably did them in. Trips like this need a purpose, and I guess at least with Nigeria you could say it was for Meghan's heritage, or more likely actually because they gave UNICEF a huge grant of money targeted for Nigeria. Oh yeah, how did I know that? Because I decided to look into their taxes for Archwell. And it's crazy how many of their grants ended up being given to companies and groups that gave them good press. Almost like one of those good old political pay-to-play things. It was really good. Now, I have no idea if that's what happened in Colombia because not only do Harry and Meghan have a revolving employee door, it seems that one of those must be the accountant because they just filed their 2022 taxes on May 14th of this year. Yeah, we still don't know what happened in 2023, so I have to kind of guess, but I'm guessing it's not very good. Now, if that's not a red flag against their charity, I don't know what is. And their grants were slashed as well. But the best nugget I got in this dumpster fire of diving that I did is what it told me the numbers are even worse. They had only paid out about $2,000 for their employees' 401ks, or in this case 401(b), for their entire year. And for that year, they had 2 employees, but also paid more money to consultants than employees. Now, that's a good question. Why would your consulting payroll be higher than your actual real employees? I'll tell you why. Because no one wants to work for you unless they're forced to. That's about as bad as you can get. And good on Josh, because you know what? He must have seen this thrown together, not royal trip, and gone, what's the point? Josh is a serious employee who wants to do a serious job. And I don't know how in the world at this point anyone can help Harry. He literally has been flailing for 4 years, and it just keeps getting worse. We still have no idea what the point of this trip is, other than to stay in front of the public, which is exactly what they should not be doing right now. They should be doing work. I thought that was the point of them fleeing the UK. And I'm guessing whatever the point was, it was not pointing to the North Star. And Josh said, "Vaya con Dios," and took off. So the answer to the obvious question is the only people that work for Harry and Meghan are those desperate or those forced to by their companies. And guess what? That line of anybody being even interested is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And that's my truth.